Today on 16-Bit Game Review, I dodge a thing. I fight two skulls at once, and finally I touch a laser. Hello and welcome. Now, a few years ago I was buying stock from my store by going on Facebook and Kijiji looking for games. Now, there was a deal for a Sega Game Gear and a few Sega Game Gear games, and it was just a modest deal. It wasn't okay, the games were okay, the system was in rough shape, but it was just an okay deal. I didn't really want to do it because it was late and I wanted to do other things, but my dad pushed and drove me out to get this. And I got there, the guy was kind, he was friendly, he gave me a free case for the Game Gear, and I gave him the money and we went on our way. Now, on the way home, I was playing around with the case and I realized that it was in deplorable shape. There was holes everywhere, but there was this weird rattling noise, like there was an extra game in there. So I rattled it to the biggest hole I can find in the case, and there it was. Jak Brothers for the Virtual Boy. Now, for those who do not collect for the Virtual Boys, or those who don't know, this is the most expensive and the most rare North American Virtual Boy game there is on the market. I could not believe my luck when I got my hands on this. I wanted to sell it, but I wanted to test it before I do. So I held on to this thing for 3 years. And eventually, this year, I got a Virtual Boy to go and play this one game. But is it any good? Jak Bros is a top-down maze shooter type game, which is very reminiscent to something like Smash TV, but instead of being in these open, wide environments killing many things at once, you're in this small confined space shooting many enemies at once. The Jak Bros, who are Jack Frost, Jack Lantern, and Jack Skellington, are all from a Japanese video game series called Megami Tensei. For those of you like me who's never heard of Megami Tensei before, just think Persona. Persona is a spin-off of Megami Tensei, just like Jak Bros. Now, for the brothers themselves, they serve as the game's difficulty. Jak Frost shoots many snowballs at once, which does less damage. However, you can throw almost an unlimited amount of them at enemies. Jack Lantern throws only 4 fireballs, but they do much more damage. And Jack Skellington has a knife blade thing, which doesn't have a lot of range, but it usually one-hits kills most enemies. This serves to change up the gameplay depending on how you like to play, and it really diversifies each brother, making them very, very unique characters in their own right. The game is a lot like Smash TV, as in you have to go around and shoot everything. But that's not the goal of the game. The goal is to actually go and get through the levels as fast as possible. And you do that by finding the exit. Now, the exit is sometimes locked, and you have to go and unlock it. You unlock it by collecting the certain amount of keys indicated in the bottom right corner of the screen. You collect keys by either picking them up off the ground or killing enemies. Some keys are very easy to find, other keys are hidden and hard to actually get, or the enemy is really hard to kill, like trolls. And much like Smash TV, both games have end bosses at the end of the area, which takes up a lot of the screen, and they're massive, beautiful things to look at, and both games actually have a flying disembodied head that's trying to murder you. There are 2 control styles which you can use to play this, depending on how you like to play these type of games. The basic one, which you're probably going to start off with, is the Zelda style, where you're shooting the direction you're going in, much like Link and his sword in the direction that it's pointing towards. Now, early on in the game, this control scheme works because the enemies are placed in such a way that they can't really attack you. However, later in the game, it becomes a lot difficulter and it just becomes extremely ineffective. So what you do is you swap to using both D-pads. The left D-pad still moves, but the right D-pad will shoot in the direction that you're pushing. So let's say you're moving left and there's an enemy coming in from the top, you just press up on the D-pad and boom, the enemy's getting shot at. when you're starting this off, you may think that the game is very small and that there's only 5 areas and there's like 5 levels per area. It's not going to be too bad. It'll be maybe 25 levels. Well, when you slowly pass the 25 level mark, you start to realize that every single area contains more levels the further you go along. And what is both a blessing and a curse, when you do die, and it will happen, you start at the beginning of the area again. And levels like Mecha Fortress, or the Dragon's Belly, or, the Temple of Nightmare, it's not too bad. You're only going to be down by 6 floors. It's not too bad. But you see, when you hit Crystal Palace, the game's like, you're going to have to work for it. Because there's 20 floors. And when you die at floor, I don't know, let's say 51, you have to go all the way back to floor 41, and then go and do it all again. And you have to do it in one perfect run. That means not getting hit by a single thing, and that is almost impossible. Here's the story in a nutshell. Jack decided to go out for Halloween. Jack had lots of fun. Jack realized it was getting late, and he was going to disappear forever if he didn't get home in time. The end. This story was so happy that the designers thought it'd be a wonderful idea to go and throw the same story in for the other 2 brothers. In fact, it was so similar that I spliced in the other stories and nobody even noticed until I brought it up. This is one of the most beautiful games on the Virtual Boy, and the 3D effect just makes this so much better. The sprites and how everything looks and works together, it just fits in so beautifully. And the 3D effect makes everything look amazing. Yeah, you have the cheesy dropping down effect, but I mean the head is on the same levels as the railings, and then between the railings and the floor there's the body, and underneath the floor you can see the different layers, and it is such a wonderful thing to look at. If you ever find a way to watch something like this in 3D, please do. It is so beautiful. Nope, but that's okay because you have a password system, and unlike a lot of NES games, the password system is very small, only using 4 characters, so it's not much of a hassle to use it. The music, oh my goodness, this music is brilliant. It is a beautiful thing to listen to, and it reflects the attitude of the stages perfectly. In the early stages, it's all bubbly and happy and bouncy, and you're just breezing your way through all this, not a care in the world. And then you get further within the game, and it's like, oh, it's getting a little bit harder, and it's okay, and the music's reflecting that perfectly. And then this happens. Just listen to this and tell me you can feel the tension just pouring through these speakers. Now, this is when I would say, yes it is, the gameplay is fantastic, the music is gorgeous, you could just listen to this thing for hours, and the gameplay is so perfect, it is worth for your Virtual Boy. Well, I can't say that, because the game is worth $250. This game is not worth $250. Maybe $75, you're pushing it at $100, but anything above that, you're crazy. This game is sought after by 3 different groups of people, which is jacking the price up beyond stupid. And it's the retro gaming collectors who want to collect everything rare and valuable. You have the Virtual Boy collectors who just want more games for their system, and you have the Mega-mee Ten-say guys looking for this game because it's technically the first game to ever be ported to North America, which makes this very sought after, and it forces the price up to ridiculous amounts. If you're desperate to see what this game is like, I'd say get an emulator and go play it on that emulator, because it is definitely 100% not worth paying $250 to go and play North American copy. And if you're desperate to go and play this on hardware, I'd recommend the Japanese copy. It's still a little bit too pricey, but it's not $250. I think the cheapest I've ever seen one of those things go for is maybe $100. So, end of the day, don't buy this game unless you can get it for cheap. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, please check out some of our other videos in the annotations below or in the cards. We have many videos and we have more reviews up. As well, please give the video a like and leave a comment below. We'd like to hear your opinion and I will probably get back to you as quickly as I get the message. As well, subscribe to us, like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, because all that stuff helps feed our monkeys who are being very well fed recently, better than they were last year. Anyways, thank you guys for watching.